This is the second part of the podcast series, the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. References to a child as him or her in this podcast are meant to be gender neutral. Don't we all believe managing finances is complex? I have to do so much and have very little time to do everything for my child. How do I find time to think about the money needed for her future? When will I do all of this? There is so much to do legally and financially. Won't it be better to do all of this when I'm older? I do not have the time today. Finance, as you would agree, is one of the more important life lessons that we should learn in life. But it is not taught in our schools. We are expected to learn it on our own, and hence we learn it as we experience it, and not the way it should be learned. Each one of us comes from an entirely different background, has experienced, observed, and understood money from our parents and other family members in our own unique way. Here we have Chitra Iyer from MFA telling us about her life experiences and when is the correct time to plan for your child's future. Chitra Iyer is a parent of a 21-year-old, Shravan Iyer, who has epilepsy, cerebral palsy, and autism. She is the CEO of MFA and has been helping families with financial planning. She is also a trustee of the parent support group, the Forum for Autism, which was set up almost 2 decades ago. MFA is a 15-year-old wealth management company which has set up a special practice to help in the financial planning for families of children with disabilities.
Hi, I'm Chitra Iyer, parent to a 21-year-old with cerebral palsy, epilepsy and autism. I'm the CEO of a company called MFA and I've been helping my clients with financial planning for their family members. I'm also a trustee of a parent support group called Forum for Autism that we parents set up 2 decades ago. Since then, I have interacted with thousands of families of children with special needs. I would like to share the stages we've been through as parents, which will be synonymous to most families listening here. The first 10 years of our son's life was full of just understanding, coming to terms, and accepting his diagnosis. I never thought about getting back to my career in finance, but only about what I need to do to get Shravan off a wheelchair and see which therapies were required for him the most. Here I bumped into Amar when waiting outside Shravan's school, and my life took a turn as I joined MFA. The next 10 years saw his transitioning from adolescence to adult life, with us facing new challenges of finding him the right school and eventually homeschooling him. The next phase of his life, which has just begun, is where our focus is to make him as independent as he can be by the time he turns 40, which is when we will be 70. And within this time, we will need to figure an occupation for him, to figure out what will be his needs that we would be comfortable with as long as we are alive. Every parent with a special needs child like us is constantly worried about how will the child be looked after once they are gone. So when is the correct time to plan for your child's future? The answer is yesterday. Whenever you got to know that your situation is unique. If you haven't started yet, the time is now. Just do it. I have come across very few parents who understand and actually start the process of financial planning during the first phase of their child's life. Parents want to try out everything under the sun during this phase to fix the child's disability. Families who cannot afford to do all of this, that is required in this phase due to monetary constraints, have to look out for what is available from the municipal schools to see what can be done for their child. In the second phase, a lot of families are able to continue with schooling or therapy only if they have support from their families or from their place of work. Usually the mother leaves her job to take the child around to every place she needs to be at, the doctor, therapies, school, walk in the park, etc. If the mother returns to a career, there can be double income available for the family to pay for the increase in expenses that they would like to incur for their child. But I have seen so many mothers not being able to do this. If you're part of a double income family, you can spend and also start saving for your family. In this phase, the earning potential of families usually gets better and you're able to start setting aside monies towards investments. The third phase is where you're clearer about how your finances will pan out till the time you retire. The larger expenses related to managing older parents' health issues, paying off housing loans, moving to another house, further education of the second child, marriage of the second child, all these happen in this phase. This is where, as parents, you have good clarity on where your child is now headed. You start thinking more concretely about how much will be required for your own retirement and for the life expenses of your special needs adult. This phase may be where the maximum money is usually made by families, be it from your professional careers or due to retirement benefits that come into hand. The best time to plan for your child's future financial needs are when you get to know that your life is going to be very different from all others around you. While you do not know how financially independent she will eventually become, it will dawn on you at a point in time that you will have to provide for her finances as a parent for a long time even after you are gone. This is when you realize that you will need to plan finances for 2 generations. The earlier you understand this, and the sooner you start saving and setting aside money in proper investments, the quicker you will be able to achieve all the goals for which monies will be required for your family. There are 5 time-centric suggestions I want to share with you here. Firstly, start as soon as you know you need to save and invest. Don't delay and procrastinate. People come up with weird excuses like I have too little to save today, or I will make money tomorrow, so why save? Please don't delay based on such excuses. Just get it into your system that you need to start saving right now. I would say this to you again. Those who do not save when they make 10,000 a month will not save when they make 10 lakhs a month. I've seen so many high-income families who lead such a lavish lifestyle that they don't save any money month on month and hence have a very low bank balance. Here, I would like you to understand this concept. Pay yourself first. When you receive your salary at the beginning of every month, first set aside at least 30% of this as investment. Start a SIP. A systematic investment plan is the easiest way of ensuring that you only spend 70% of your money and the 30% that you have invested is for your future. People have asked me, how can you ask us to save 30% of our money? I can barely make 2 ends meet and you're giving this speech about saving. To answer this question, my second suggestion would be, please start small. To the ones who said they can barely make their ends meet, I say you can start saving 500 per month. And everyone says, of course, yes. Then I say, just build up from there. You can do it once you start. The problem is when you just don't start. Once you get into this habit, you can gradually increase the investments as your income grows and with every bonus that you receive along the way. The goal is to start small, and as you keep on increasing your percentage of savings from 10% to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50%, oh yes, I've seen how the wealthy have been frugal about their expenses and build their wealth from saving their hard-earned money very consciously. That brings me to my third suggestion, which is get disciplined at it. Please don't stop once you've begun. I've seen many families build huge portfolios by being disciplined about their investments. They started very small, but very early, and then stayed disciplined, gradually increasing their monthly investments as they started earning more. Sticking to investing on a particular date, to a percentage of the income that you make without giving into impulsive spending, instills discipline in investments. The real magic in building a corpus due to compounding has been called the 8th wonder of the world by Einstein. Over a large period of time, money earns interest and interest also earns interest. The discipline in saving and investing bears phenomenal fruits over a period of time. I have clients who get their children to start saving from their first paycheck as they feel they came to me too late. And they don't want the children to miss out on the effect of disciplined savings and investments. The fourth suggestion is take help. Do not try to do this on your own. The biggest challenge, even when you know this is priority for you, is committing time. I have seen many families who are unable to start this process and give it time because they have very busy schedules. This becomes the topmost worry and cause of stress because although you know this needs to be done, you are unable to get it started. And once started, to actually stay on course and finish all that needs to be done financially and legally. I am a cost accountant and a certified financial planner, but we needed a financial planner like Amar in our life to help look at our goals and help keep us on track to achieve all our goals for Shravan and for our own needs. We could start saving in the first phase, move to another house in the second, and now build the corpus required in the third phase. Those who think they know it all, or that they have someone who is an insurance agent or a broker who call themselves advisors as helping them, eventually don't benefit from the decision of appointing one financial planner to watch over their finances and prevent leakages that they are not even aware of. Leave the financial planning to the experts, the professionals. Hire a financial planner. They can make a proper plan for you, help you follow the correct process, and are watching the markets day in and day out on your behalf. Take your time to select a good financial planner or an efficient team like we have in MFA. Ask the correct questions to see if they are trustworthy and truly understand your family's challenges. Better still, look for a planner who is an expert in the special needs space. Then give them time periodically to stay on course and give your money time to grow. My last suggestion is give yourself time to understand how to invest wisely. Investing is more about investor behavior and less about investment. You keep reading about what great investors like Warren Buffett have achieved in their lifetimes. But when it comes to your own self, you make the classic mistakes you are not supposed to make. I have benefited personally from investing through equity and debt-based mutual funds. Mutual funds are a fantastic way of accumulating wealth. They are convenient to invest in, they offer liquidity, they have tax benefits, they are professionally managed, they offer good diversification, have healthy risk-reward ratios, and are recognized as a great source of building wealth the world over. There are many schemes to select from, and I rely heavily on our research team to help me invest in the correct schemes for me. This is a job of a professional, and we have the best minds as the top CIOs and professionals in the mutual fund business. Yes, you will need a financial coach to assist you in co-creating your plan with you, help you decide your investments, and then dedicate time to watch it periodically. Maybe see it at least half yearly to see if you are on track towards your goals. As you lay goals for your child to achieve milestones in life and help her achieve them, parallelly, please lay down financial goals to track and achieve them. What I have observed is people's reluctance to openly discuss the issues about money. We all know that we need money to provide for all the expenses right from schooling to a residential facility for our child. We all know that it only gets more expensive year on year due to inflation, and our careers will one day come to an end and our income earning capacity too. Invariably, people wake up to plan when it is too late, either at the time of their own retirement or when one parent passes away. Today I am getting calls from schools, friends, parents asking how can we help our children whose parents have suddenly passed away. These events force parents to take ad hoc decisions that may not be the best, which if you had planned properly earlier would have not resulted in compromising some important areas of planning for yourself and your child. We have seen enough families face financial challenges and the result is borne by the special needs child. Hence, my sincere request is to start the process of financial planning immediately, and I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may have on the same. Kindly share your inputs, thoughts, suggestion on the same, and I will get back to you. Also, do share any particular areas you would like me to cover, and I will try to do so. Thank you.
You have been listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. You can reach her on chitra.iyer@myfinad.com. That is chitra.iyer myfinad.com or call her on 9833 785 892. That is 9833 785 892.